6:32, at this time, we'll call the Wellington City Schools Board of Education meeting to order. We want to thank everyone for coming out this afternoon. And those of you that are online and viewing us as well, we want to thank you for chiming in. Thank all of you for your support. At this time, we'll do our mission statement by Vice Chair, Ms. Tiffany Hill.
The mission of the Weldon City School District is to create and maintain a highly effective educational system in which every student receives the highest quality education. School employees and parents work together to prepare students to become caring, competent, and responsible citizens who value education as a lifelong process.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hill. At this time, I entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to.
Under 6E1, that should be an action item for the calendar.
Okay, on the E, number 1 is a action item. Okay, Ms. Hill.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Second.
It's been motioned by Ms. Hill and seconded by Ms. Harrison that the agenda be approved with the recommended changes. Are there any questions? All in favor, aye? Aye. Ms. Barry Robinson?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next, entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve, the minutes. Second.
It's been motioned by Ms. Hill and seconded by Ms. Harrison that the minutes be approved. Are there any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. At this time, we'll have Ms. Lee Easter for recognition of upcoming school events. New hires.
Good evening to the board chair and board members.
Good evening.
Of my community. Welcome to another wonderful opportunity to hear the great things that are going on here at Weldon City Schools. We start with our Weldon Elementary Global Academy Student of the Month. Our Student of the Month for Weldon Elementary Global Academy is Araya Pitts. Araya is the kindergartner at Weldon Elementary Global Academy. She's excited. She's an excited student. She's a leader. She enjoys helping her teachers and her peers. She also completes all of her classwork, homework, and she's a great listener. We also have her mother here. She's very proud of Araya because on the same month in 2015, she was Student of the Month for Weldon City Schools. Missing in action. Our next student of the month is Weldon Middle School student, Zamaria Freeman, eighth grade. Zamaria is an exceptional young woman, very polite, courteous, always tries her hardest. She's a self-starter who gets along all her peers, and she also maintains the A/B envelope. We can give her a hand clap. Our next student of the month is Weldon STEM High School Career Academy, Michael Ash, 11th grade. Michael Ash has demonstrated tremendous growth as a student throughout the school year. He helps out staff every opportunity that he can. He also is looked up to by his fellow peers as a leader.
Congratulations.
Our next student of the month is from Roanoke Valley Early College, Angela Rios Warren. Angela has a strong work ethic and is highly dedicated to her academics. She's also courteous, kind to her teachers and her peers. She understands and follows school expectations. She works very hard on her college courses as well as her high school courses.
All right.
Thank you.
Our next recognition is Employee of the Month for Weldon City Schools, Mrs. Cheryl Welch. Mrs. Welch is a team player. As a math teacher at Roanoke Valley Early College, she believes in her students, therefore she pours into their lives a gift that promotes aspiration, self-awareness, and a desire to strive for academic excellence. Our next recognition is Weldon Elementary Global Academy Parent of the Month, Mrs. Calvette Cummins Smith. Ms. Smith is a parent that supports Weldon Elementary Global Academy. She donates to the class and to school events, attend meetings, and communicate with the staff to stay knowledgeable about her student and how to support her scholar. She also rallies with the parents to support the school's efforts. Congratulations. Now we will acknowledge our new hire. Weldon STEM High School Career Academy would like to acknowledge their new social studies teacher, Mr. Victor Ward Jr. Weldon STEM High School Career Academy is proud to announce that Mr. Victor Ward Jr. has joined the Charger family. He hit the floor running, ready and eager to teach and grow his students. Weldon City Schools welcome you to the family. That's right. All right. The next hire for the month of March is from Weldon Elementary Global Academy, new fourth grade math teacher, Ms. Felicia Farmer. Weldon Elementary Global Academy is proud to announce Ms. Farmer as their new math teacher for fourth grade. Ms. Farmer is excited and eager to teach and support her students. Weldon City Schools welcome Ms. Farmer to the family. That is all of our acknowledgements and recognitions. We would like to also just speak about the spring sports. Baseball, softball, and track has had a successful start of the season. Weldon City Schools athletes also participated in Oakland County West High School track and field events. Boys third place, girls second place. And our last acknowledgement is actually the town of Weldon. We would like to acknowledge the town of Weldon, the rockfish capital of the world. The town of Weldon was host to NC Hart, North Carolina Helicopter Aquatic Rescue Team. NC Hart was able to perform rescue and safety training right here at the Roanoke River, participated in strategic and sound rescue and safety practices with the goal of providing and keeping our citizens safe. We're proud to have had them here. Thank you for your attention. Please visit our website, Weldon City Schools website, or our Weldon City Schools Facebook page to stay abreast of the latest and greatest things happening here at the Weldon City Schools and in our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Easter. Next, we have the superintendent report.
Being Chair Williams, Vice Chair Hill, members of the board. My report tonight will be similar to other reports where we focus on students, but more about data. And in your packets, we have information from My Future NC, My Future NC. And in the packet, My Future NC data provides several profiles. And the first profile is a look at the state of North Carolina and some important figures related to population, household income, homeowners, child poverty rate, opportunity youth rate, households with broadband, and unemployment rate. That data is also provided for Halifax County. So this My Future NC provides information about the state of North Carolina and then Halifax County. About a month ago, I was privileged to attend a Northeast convenient at Bueno Juan Community College, where My Future NC was hosting this event to share this with all of the counties in the region. In addition to the profiles for North Carolina and Halifax County, My Future NC information provides school and city profiles for each of the school districts in Halifax County. And I want to direct your attention to the Weldon City Schools profile, where you can see information about 3 categories: academic readiness, college and career readiness, and post-secondary completion. And you'll see that how we're doing as it relates to students completing or being proficient in reading and math, graduation in 4 years, absenteeism, as well as going to college and persistent. And post-secondary completion is also important. And as you have this information, I want you to have an opportunity to take a look at how Weldon City School students are doing in comparison to the other two districts in Halifax County and how that might also translate into how our students are doing compared to the region and to the state. As I was thinking about my future NC, it made me think about on Friday, I was walking through the elementary school and the picture for Weldon is bright as I went into the secondary classroom of a recent graduate from North Carolina Central University, who is also a Weldon STEM High School and Career Academy graduate. And not only is my future in C bright, but my future in Weldon City Schools is bright. And I thought, what better opportunity than now than for Ms. Shea Mallory, who is a graduate of high school, who was in her first year of teaching back in Weldon, to talk about the My Future in Weldon. So I want to invite Ms. Mallory up to share a few minutes about her first year teaching back in Weldon too.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I apologize if I get a little tongue tied because I'm a little nervous. As you know, my name is Krishay Mallory. I'm a second grade teacher at Weldon Elementary Global Academy. In May of 2023, I graduated from North Carolina Central University. The HBCU, as you know, I graduated from there with honors, and a part of graduating from the school of education there, you have to already have passed all of your tests, including the PPA. You have to be done completed level 1 and level 2 of student teaching. And you also have to have already applied for your teaching license. So I had to do all of that before I could walk across the stage. As Mr. Simpson, Dr. Simpson mentioned, I'm also a graduate of Weldon High School. I graduated a semester early December of 2018, and I started college January 2019. And I will say, it wasn't like in my original plans to come back to Weldon, but I'm gonna tell you sort of how it happened, and I'm glad it did happen. So after graduating, I started applying for teacher positions, and, I applied around that area. I was interviewed and hired, but I hadn't heard from Weldon City Schools yet, so I verbally accepted a position elsewhere. And, sometime in July, Mr. Wood called me, and asked, was I still interested? And I told him I was not, that I had already I had already accepted a position elsewhere. And he called back and asked, he said, I feel like I let you go too easy. He said, have you already signed the contract? I said, no, sir. He invited me to come in for an interview. And I will say this, the feeling I had walking through the halls, I did not feel that anywhere else. I've always wanted to be a teacher. Not for the money, of course, but it was for, I wanted to make a difference. And when I walked through those halls for my interview, I felt home, and I felt like this is the place where I could really make a difference. I won't say my first year was a piece of cake, because it was not, it was challenging. One thing that I think that we should change for the, next first year teachers, a little more support in enhancing the mentorship program. I feel like, it's already challenging enough being a first year teacher, and I think, that would just help make it a little easier. But thank God for blessing me with, supportive family. I built connections with teachers in other districts that, help. And then I also built a very good, work relationship with other teachers in my school. So, that helped me get through a lot. So I'm very thankful for my support system that I did have. But I think that, our school has great potential. I'm glad I came back. I'm glad that it worked out the way it did. And I wouldn't change spending my first year with Weldon City Schools. I hope that.
We are so glad that you are here. We are glad to be back in Weldon, and my future Weldon City Schools is bright. So we thank you.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, I want to wish everyone a happy birthday, happy anniversary, and all those good things. Ms. Mallory, I say to you, I said, you have a lot of potential, but it's individuals like you who will make us, help us reach that potential. We so glad you came back, Mr. Wood, thank you for being consistent, and you couldn't have picked a better place. Well, it's on the move. So we appreciate your service and everything that you have done. Now go out and recruit. Recruit. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ms. Mallory, did you have family with you?
I did, yes, sir.
Yeah, parents.
I have my parents, my little brother, and my aunt.
Thank you all.
All things, brother now. Okay, this time for North Carolina School Board, Academy of School Board, Michelle. I want to present some certificates that came. And I'm not gonna do it in any order, but first I have a certificate for Ms. Donna Harrison. We have Reverend O.D. Sykes. We have Miss Edith Jenkins. We have Miss Tiffany Hale. And I have one for Miss Kimberly Robson, who is absent this evening. And James Williams. Well, in all support, we want to thank the board members for attending those conferences and workshops. They are very instrumental in us being a good school board. At this time, you know, there's some things that you do and it brings different types of joy. And I guess we have reached that point where they say it's tears of joy and tears of pain. But first I want to recognize Dr. Salmon, who came in as interim superintendent. Have done a fantastic job. And his contract ends on paper March the 31st. But I do want to say to Dr. Salmonton, we appreciate all you've done for Weldon, the leadership you have provided. We know it hasn't been easy, but I must say you've been a man of patience, wisdom, knowledge, and I guess it comes from the good man above. But do want to thank you for all that you've done and let you know it's very much appreciated. We thank you so much. This next person. She walked these halls of Weldon High School. She worked down at the central office. She retired. And she came back to give us a hand. And I dare say that her decision to come back, it took a lot because we probably were in the worst condition we ever been in. We were a total chaos, disruption. But she came in and she did a fantastic job. And she stood by Weldon. She had that Weldon loyalty. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And so to her, I can't thank you enough. I tell you thank you when I see you. And I tell you here, we thank you because we were at a very, very critical point. We are very critical point. And you didn't throw us one life preserver, you threw us several life preservers and pulled us up. So Ms. Campbell, Ms. Matilda Campbell, just want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all that you have done. You have been a troop, and we really appreciate you for all that you have done. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. And next we'll have Ms. Campbell with the financial report.
Good evening, Board Chair, Vice Chair Mateo, Dr. Samuelson, and board members.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like to present to you your monthly financial statements for the month of February, starting with local special fund 8. Beginning revenue, $635,150.35. Total deposit for the month was $272,010.09. Bring your year-to-date total to $907,160.44. Beginning expenditures is $416,348.97. Total expenditures for the month was $60,372.73. Bring your year-to-date total to $476,721.70. Giving you a net result as of February the 29th of $430,438.74. Bring your unobligated fund balance to $1,433,749.12. Current expense, beginning revenue is $1,770,612.01. Total deposit for the month was $171,958.01. Bring your year-to-date total to $1,942,570.02. Beginning expenditure is $1,411,095.67. Total expenditures for the month was $171,264.51. Bring your year-to-date total to $1,582,360.18. Giving you a net result as of February the 28th of $360,209.84. Bring your unobligated fund balance to $636,698.01. Capital outlay. Beginning revenue is $330,791.25. Total deposit for the month was $10,586.44. Bring your year-to-date total to $341,377.69. Beginning expenditures $88,974.42. Total expenditures for the month was $7,132.63. Bring your year-to-date total to $96,107.05. Giving you a net result for the year as of February 29th of $245,270.64. Bring your unobligated fund balance to $1,137,564.64. Child nutrition, beginning revenue is $367,631.78. Total deposit for the month was $66,186.30. Bring your year-to-date total to $433,818.08. Beginning expenditure is $382,785.03. Total expenditures for the month is $71,877.21. Bring your year-to-date total to $454,662.24. Giving you a net result for the year a negative $20,844.16. Bringing the unobligated fund balance to $234,952.84.
Ms. Campbell, we don't have that.
You don't have what?
What you just said, with
The
the
whole
child
thing.
nutrition.
With child nutrition,
Oh, I'm
We don't-
sorry.
we don't have that.
That was the revised financial statements for January. I had to redo it. I must have didn't print it. I'm sorry. I didn't print mine.
Okay.
I printed the revised instead of the regular one.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
We don't have to revise either.
Okay, I'll get a copy to you. And what happened was, when she posted some commodities, it was after I had already done the January financial statement, and when I went in to do the February financial statement, it was out of balance, so I had to go back to the January's. But I'll get the revised January financial statement to you tomorrow. I apologize for that. You got February? Yes. I will.
I got a question if she did that. Before she does this one, on the capital outlay, I want to ask a question before you read that. Isn't this supposed to be, I see you have a negative,
It
but
should
it
be a
should be
plus.
positive.
Yes, it's a
Okay.
positive,
I just
yes.
want to make sure.
I changed it in black, but didn't change it to a plus.
All right.
Child nutrition for the month of February, beginning revenues is $433,818.08. Total deposit for the month is $79,557.59. Bringing year-to-date total to $513,375.67. Beginning expenditures is $454,662.24. Total expenditures for the month is $71,409.35. Bringing year-to-date total to $526,071.59. Giving you a net result for the year a negative $12,695.92, and bringing the unobligated fund balance to $243,101.08. That's the financial statements for the month of February. Are there any questions? I'm gonna get back to you. For the amendments for the month, state amendment number 22, federal amendments number 21 through 23. I present those amendments to you for approval if there's no questions.
So we have a motion to approve the amendments.
I make the motion to approve state amendment number 22, federal amendment 23, and federal amendment 22, and federal amendment 21.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Hale and second by Ms. Barry Robinson that the amendments be approved. Are there any questions? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All right, all opposed? Motion passes.
Also, and I do apologize for the lateness, I emailed out tonight the all PRC report, and I gave hard copies, when I came in tonight. And Ms. Bird Robinson, your copy should be in your email.
Got it. Thank you.
Two more items, and then I'll sit down and be out here. As you know, last year, the last couple of years, the state has allocated a dollar allotment, in PRC 071 state funds. And trying to find the name of it. It's the supplemental funds for teachers in grades K through 12. Pre-kindergarten is not eligible for that supplement. And this week I had to complete a survey for the state, and one of the things they were asking in that survey is, how many teachers will be receiving that 071 money, as well as how many new teachers that has a AOO license. At the time I started the report, I shared with Ms. Dameron that I thought it was all beginning teachers, but it was only beginning teachers with AOO license. And so I had to go ahead and do the pre-calculations on how much money that each one of those teachers will receive. And I think last year they got a little over $2,000, a little over $2,000, right? I think it was $2,425 based on the allotment that this district received. And I used the same formula that the previous interim finance officer used. And I used that same one on this particular allotment this year, and the total amount that the district received this year was $295,062. And so when I pulled the payroll assignment report, we have 63 and a half teachers that will be eligible for that supplement. And I will be putting together a spreadsheet to come for the board so the board can motion and approve that supplement for those teachers. And based on my calculation, each teacher from kindergarten through 12th grade will receive $3,500 this year from the PRC 071, and it will leave about $200 in the budget. And I tried to get it as close as possible without going over the allocation. But I wanted the board to be aware of that. And again, pre-K teachers is not eligible for this money,
You said, Ms. Campbell, 3,000 what now?
$3,500.
And this is a
One-time bonus. I think last year when I ended up, helping the finance officer do it because the money was sitting there and they got close to the end of the school year. I think they got it in May of last year. And I didn't have it ready to present to the board. So they'll get it again in May of this year, if the board approved the amount. But this is the one-time bonus for the teachers. Are there any questions in reference to that? Okay, and finally, the proposed budget, we had our first budget work session on February the 27th. And you as the board gave me some items to go back and make corrections on. Those corrections was made, and you had a second work session on March the 14th. And on yesterday, Dr. Simonton, our alum, Mr. Williams, showed up for the meeting. We presented to the assistant county manager, the county manager, and the finance officer the proposed budget that the board had reviewed. The county has not allocated or said how much they will be allocating because they are waiting on the ADM from the state. They will not use our ADM, they will use the state ADM, but they'll also use the number of students I presented to them for that we had as charter school students as of January. One of the things they did share with us on yesterday, if you remember over the last several years, the school districts, the 3 school districts has been receiving special project money. A couple of years, they held the money at the county and we had to pay the bill and then get reimbursed. They have agreed, the county commissioners have agreed that this year, next year, for the 24-25 school year, all 3 districts will receive $200,000 for special projects next school year. They also made us aware of something that just came in effect recently, is that for instructional classrooms, you can apply for lottery funds to do any type of renovations within a classroom. And I told them that would be good to know because if there's some things that need to happen, especially in our elementary school or in the middle school, until the new school is built, is good information. So she said that, you would follow the same process as you would follow it as though you was using regular lottery funds. You decide how much you want, what the project would be. The board approved the dollar amount, and then it goes before the county commissioners. And also yesterday, we shared with them that the board did approve the supplemental tax rate to remain the same at $20, 20 cents, which was $20, but 20 cents per $100. And one of the things they said, because the board approved that tax rate at 20 cents, someone needs to be at the county commission meeting on April the 15th at 5:30. So that way, if any questions are asked, then someone be there to answer those questions. They were happy to see that, as I shared with them, I was comfortable with the amount that we had put into capital outlay to use for fund balance. That the district would be able to use capital outlay funds, and they were happy to see that we was putting some skin in the game as far as the budget. And I shared with them the main reason why that budget was gonna be high. With the current expense budget, I shared with them that the amount was there. We need them to give us some money to help us out with the current expense. And I shared the reason why, because of with ESSA funds going away, if we had people in ESSA fund and we had to maintain those positions, we needed to put those positions into your local budget.
Okay, so we need to do a motion for the 3,500. Also. Motion for the K-12 for the $3,500, supplement, a one-time supplement. Do I entertain a motion?
So move.
Second.
Then motion by Ms. Barry Robinson and second by Ms. Hill that we give the $3,500 supplement for this year only. And second by Ms. Hill. Are there any questions? All in favor, aye? Aye. Ms. Barry Robinson?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Motion carries. Next, for the proposed budget, need a motion to accept the proposed budget.
I make a motion to accept the proposed budget.
Second.
Been motion by Ms. Hill and second by Ms. Harrison that the proposed budget be accepted. Are there any questions? There are no questions, then, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. I will say before you have your seat, Ms. Campbell, we were down there and Dr. Simon spoke, but you did an excellent job of, presenting the budget. Like the way you broke it down to them, it was well received, and we thank you again
Thank
for
you.
a job well done.
Thank you.
Thank you
And
so-
before I take my seat, Mr. Williams, Dr. Simonton, I would just like to say to the board, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come back to serve as your interim finance officer. I want to say to the team, Dr. Simonton, Ms. Cameron, and Dr. Carpenter, I would not miss those Wednesday meetings. But it has been a pleasure. It's been a challenge this time. There have been a lot of things going on, new schools and all that stuff, Mr. Hunter. But I thank you for allowing me to serve Weldon City Schools.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
And thank you, Ms. Campbell. Next, we'll have federal programs and services. These were really Faulkner.
Good evening, Chair Williams, Vice Chair Hill, board members, Dr. Carpenter, Dr. Simon, sorry.
Good evening. Good evening.
She's been my left hand, right hand lately, or the name right at the forefront. Although this is provided on the slide, I do have a hard copy. This was added to. after the presentation was since updated as of today. Dr. Simons had asked for an update on the Title I to break it down by the school allocations for Weldon Elementary, Weldon Middle, Weldon STEM, and Roanoke Valley Early College. You have the enrollment that our Title I budget was based upon. It's based upon the enrollment from the previous school year.
Thank you.
The low income status of the students that the federal government uses to calculate. You'll see the initial 100% for low income, but in parentheses, you'll see the actual status, the actual percent of low income students in the school. For our top 3 schools, they are deemed by the federal government as 100% low income. With Roanoke Valley Early College with a lower percentage of low income students. And because of that lower percentage, the enrollment that their funding source is based upon is in parentheses at 83 students. So that's why you see the difference. Even though the enrollment is higher at Roanoke Valley Early College, they receive less funding because their free reduced lunch rate, low income rate calculated by the federal government is less. And the number of students they're basing that calculation on is less. So that gives you the dollar amount that each school was allocated there. And that does not include any indirect costs. That is straight dollar amount that the schools can spend on teachers, supplies, resources in their buildings.
What was it can be spent on now again?
Teachers,
Mm-hmm.
it's a plethora of different things, but as it stands currently is teachers,
Mhm.
teacher assistants, supplies and materials, technology, workshop expenses. Some schools have contracted services. Communities and schools at the high schools, a contracted services line, A+ services, that works with the students for participation in the ACT and preparation for ACTs. So there are contract services that are there. Field trip funds that are there. Field trips must align to academics in Title I, tied to some class activity or extension of a class activity. And that's the general area that they follow. And schools are very busy now with aligning their school improvement plans and their expenditures to make sure that we don't revert any funds, any federal funds. We do have carryover that we're able to have because federal dollars do not come in at the same time that state dollars come in. Federal dollars we usually get around October, and sometimes later, depending upon the federal government. So when you hear that the federal government has not passed the budget, that delays our funds for our title funds like Title I, Title II, Title IV. But we do have enough carryover. We make sure we keep enough carryover to pay our staff and to get our schools started. The rule of thumb is to have about 25% of your funds carried forward so that you can hold for the summer months when you have some staff that might be 12 months or summer programs and the start of the school year. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
On the next slide, I also had to update that from your presentation. When it was sent to you, copied and provided to the board clerk, we had not received notification of the plasma games, but since then we have received an award notice late yesterday evening that we were awarded $7,080 for plasma games, which I did provide information for you as well as the application that was actually submitted for plasma games. It's closely aligned to chemistry, but it also works with middle school. They were provided free opportunities for Ms. Anissa Robinson to attend some of the professional development that they were offering because we really felt strongly and they really felt strongly that the state was going to use some of its ESSER remaining funds to support the school districts that did not have plasma games in action. And we were one of those districts, so we kind of had a head start with that preparation, but it will provide training for teachers and covering of substitutes. But again, it's ESSER funds and they still have to be expended by September of 2024.
With both of them?
Yes, ma'am. All funds will have to be encumbered by 2024, September 30th, 2024. Yes, ma'am. And you can encumber, if you're waiting on supplies and resources, they have to be in by December. And the next, budget that grant that we're waiting for notification, the state board meets on that grant the first week in April, I think it's April 2nd. And that's the robotics grant. And in the robotics grant, it will give a shot in the arm to Weldon to start a robotics, after-school enrichment program, because it will provide the funds to purchase all the equipment, start getting the coaches trained, and getting the students some experience, in the summer months if we get it early enough. But if they approve it in April, hopefully they'll start trickling those funds down in April. We can, purchase the supplies, the kits and everything. And we do have a staff member who has been a robotics coach before, so we do have some, experience in our district. And she has agreed to be with us as we roll out the robotics program if we are awarded that grant. So, we do have some experience in the mix with us, so we won't be starting out for ground zero. 21st Century Learning Center, they have a cohort 17 that's, open, and we are collecting data, looking at which partnerships we might want to offer, doing some informal kind of survey, and what are some things outside of the box thinking that, we can use for a 21st Century Learning Center. They want to see more engaging activities. Academics is obviously very important, but they want to do some extension and make sure that the students have opportunities to explore the arts and be more creative. So the more creative you are, it kind of gives you a few more points. So we are looking at that. The deadline for that grant is April 23rd at noon. And those are the dollar amounts that are the maximum dollar amounts that you can apply for. Any questions about the grants?
Well, sorry.
Ms. Reedy Baldwin, I have a question. I'm grateful to see the funding. And of course, we know it, ESSA will end, as you just stated, September 30th of this year. My question is, and I mentioned it during our budget session, our work session for our budget, but you couldn't be there because of some other things that particular evening. I asked the question, and I'm asking tonight, have you found out, or do you know, we normally give our employees a bonus as it relates to the ESSA. And we know that the ESSER funding, of course, is going to end. How would that kind of tie in, I guess, to going towards the end of the year when we would normally do that? That was, something that we built into that. Will we be able to do it earlier this year, or have you heard anything on that? In the next semester, of course.
The leadership team did bring forward that question. We definitely can have the ESSER bonus for the end of this academic year, and the board can decide to do a recruitment, retention, return bonus and pay it earlier than December. It just has to be paid out by September 30th, 2024. So you do have an opportunity for one more 2024, 2025 bonus for staff members that can come out of there. So the team is looking at what are some of the things that are absolutely important, and the supplement was important for the team, and making sure that we have those funds rolled over. So if you see the ESSER PRC 181 have that amount to roll forward, it will be based upon the desire to have another bonus structure in place, or retention bonus in place, or supplement, whichever term. Some finance people don't like for you to use one or the other, but they're basically the same.
True.
But that did, your question, or the board's question was lifted to the leadership team, and they brought that question to me.
Okay, thank you.
On the student services side, March is Happy Social Worker Month, Happy Social Work Month, and it includes the social worker. And the North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper proclaimed March as Social Work Month. We have the theme for this year for March is empowering social workers. Our social worker is very active, very engaged, and you will see one of the results of her partnerships of working in the community. She is our lead on homeless. She led sessions this Saturday with our beginning teachers, and they were very engaged to learn about, things that relates to keeping our students safe, keeping our students healthy, and making sure that they can come to school and be ready to learn. Course registration is 24-25 is in full swing, based upon the agreed upon timeline with our secondary team, our leadership team. Weldon City Schools timelines have our initial completed course schedules for May 23rd, and that's, we know that at the end of the school year, you have to get the final grades to determine whether there are students that should be in honors, students who may need to do a repeat of a course, and you want to put them in the right course moving forward. But the end of this month is the first time is the end of this month. The final is May 23rd. So May 28th is when we're scheduled to have the first round finished, all adjustments, and then May 23rd is the final. That will allow the team to determine if there's a need for a teacher in a certain course area, or if we can shuffle some things around. So that gives a little bit of time there for HR. We talked about ESSER and ESSER going away. One thing that hasn't gone away is the monitoring piece. Weldon City Schools, because we're W, they went in alphabetical order, so we're one of the last rounds of the ESSER monitoring. April 26th, we will have our monitoring visit, and we have 16 budgets for which we have received funds throughout the life of ESSER 1, 2, and 3 in our district. All plans, the monitoring visit, it's not, although it's not a fiscal monitoring visit, they do ask fiscal questions, and they do ask how things were expended and if they were aligned to your plan. So in order to do so, we had to look at every expenditure that those funds were used for. All plans had to have been approved, any amendments. So we're looking back to every expenditure to see if there was something that we can't directly tie to an alignment in a plan, and we just have to go in and make the adjustments before that visit. And that's something that they allow you to do, just to make sure that it's in a line by the end. Evidence, as long as there are things that were allowed. Evidence of implementation activities, so they'll want test scores. If we said it was a recruitment bonus, they'll want to see what's our retention rate, whether it was better or whether it was not better. That's not what they're assessing. They're just assessing that you did keep data on your retention rate. You did keep data on your student attendance. Another plan will be the effectiveness of your activities. But that's not what they're looking at, whether the measures show growth or deficits. It's just that you actually kept the data. We have to show evidence that we partnered with the private schools for the funds that they were allowed to access in that first ESSER 1. And I know that did occur, so we have to put the consultation documentation for PRC 163, 65, 66, 68, 69, and 70 in a file. It's not technically a desk audit because they do have questions on a live virtual conference that we have to be a part of on the 26th, but we have to send all of our documentation in by a week prior through Microsoft SharePoint. It's like sort of like Google Doc sharing. And then they're going to look at everything and then have their questions for us, but they give us the questions in advance. So there are no surprises. We know exactly the questions that they're going to ask. And directors and coordinators are actively involved in pulling these documents together. One thing I'd like to share, this has been shared on our website, but just so that there are any individuals in the community that you know the deadline is coming up very soon. Across Sunbucks, they're basically trying to give the families who need additional food supplies in the home over the summer months some additional funds. One of the things that's key with this is that we need to have accurate addresses, because where they mail those things to and how they communicate with the families, they're going to be able to pull that data that's on file for those students. So it's very important that we get accurate, updated addresses for our mailing addresses for our families. And they're using the district school records to do that. So they may have a record with DSS, but they're going to be using what's on record in the schools.
Would it be a one-time thing or once a month?
I believe it says they're eligible to receive $120 per eligible student. And I believe it's just that one time loaded on that EBT card, similar to an EBT. Share. We do have the partnership that I mentioned from our social worker, Ms. Whitaker. The St. Matthew's African Episcopal Church, located at 512 West Third Street in Weldon, has a partnership with HU Zone Technology Initiative, where they take laptops and they convert them to laptops that are no longer functioning as laptops, and they convert them to Chromebooks. And the church wanted to donate 10 Chromebooks and the chargers to graduating seniors. So they would not technically have to have our software installed on them in any way. The value of those Chromebooks, a refurbished Chromebook, is about $50. And I can't remember if I put a copy of how we came up with that amount. I did, so that you would know that it is a valid, that $50 times 10, $500, which is under the $5,000 threshold. But we did want you to be aware that this was a donation that was provided, and this is the Chromebook that they have provided. It does have a little sticker for that company, and they want to be able to do more. And that's a picture when they came to the central office to bring the bags. All of them have a bag, charger, and the Chromebook.
That's nice.
They want to make sure the kids do have something that they need.
Action.
Because it is below the 5,000,
So we need action on that. Okay, then,
I
yeah.
reviewed your policy 822B. And since it's below 5,000, out of maybe a relationship, a partnership to show that you receive acceptance, I think it would be a good gesture.
I make a motion to approve, the donation of laptops to Weldon City Schools from the St. Matthew African Episcopal Church.
We have a motion by Ms. Hale and second by Ms. Harrison that we approve the Chromebooks from the Methodist Church in Weldon, Oakland on 3rd Street. Are there any questions? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Are there any other questions related to federal programs or student services that I can answer for the board? Thank you so much.
Very important. Appreciate it. And take all the Chromebooks you can get.
That's one of the ways we're going to spend some of the money.
Dr. Carpenter, curriculum and instruction.
Good evening, board chair, vice chair, and Dr. Simonton, other board members,
Good evening.
community members and staff. I am here to present the instructional report for the month of March. Okay, all right, so testing and accountability update. So both high schools completed ACT makeups on March 12th. And I think that's gonna put us over 95% participation rate for both schools. April 15th through May 3rd, the elementary school will complete the EOY, the end of year testing that measures development of reading skills for all of our elementary students there. And all schools will complete the last benchmark starting on April 22nd and finishing on April 26th. Curriculum and instruction updates. We are now awaiting the Cognia Engagement Review Evaluation date which could take place between now and May. Once we receive the date, we will share that information, and once the evaluation is complete, we will receive the final report in July, and it will be shared, as well. Last Saturday, March 16th, the HR department completed a beginning teachers mini conference with 24 beginning teachers that were in attendance. The focus was on understanding student attendance, child protective services, McKinney-Vento Act, implementing strategies to improve outcomes, academic outcomes, and understanding licensure options and timeline. The conference was well received, and the HR department is looking to host one more mini conference event with our B2 teachers, hopefully in April prior to testing. The last learning focus module implementation will be on April 11th, and the focus will be on vocabulary strategies. And March 26th and 27th will be the last learning focus visit for this school year. Next, we have the 2024-2025 academic calendar. I'm here to present two drafts for the 24-25 academic calendar, and would like to get board approval for either draft 3 or draft 4. I will summarize the difference between the two calendars, and I've added an updated form that you all received prior to the start of the board meeting that looks like this. This is the update. So the first day of school for draft 3 for our students would be August 12th. And the first day of school for draft 4 will be August 26th. So teachers will come back August 5th, and the teachers will come back in draft 4 August 15th. The number of instructional days are different. For draft 3, it's 179. It will be 89 for first semester. $89 for first semester and 90 days for second semester for draft 3. Draft 4, you will have 178 days, 89 and 89 for first semester and second semester. So you have more instructional days for draft 3 for our students. The number of instructional hours, you have more instructional hours for draft 3, which is 1,132 instructional hours, and for draft 4 is 1,125. The number of required work days, optional work days, and annual leave days are the same. 7 days required, 8 days optional, and 10 days annual leave. That's the same. For winter break, you have 11 days for draft 3, and for draft 4, you have 10. Yes.
For draft 3, I counted 10 days.
For which one?
3, draft 3,
You count 10 days for,
Monday through Friday, and then the next Monday through Friday, because they'll start back on the following Monday.
I'm not understanding what you're asking for. Which one?
For winter break.
For winter break, 10 days for draft 3?
That's what I counted.
Okay. That might be a typo.
Mr. Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
have a question.
No, it's 11. It's at 6. You gotta count to 6. You see it?
So they come, you count the 6. I didn't count the 6.
Yeah, you see 6.
Oh, because they don't,
That's
okay,
the
so they come
requirement.
back on the Tuesday.
Mhm. You see the difference?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Mary Roberts.
I know that we had talked about trying to do the 180 days. I know that it's just one day short, but is it possible for us to have 90 days in both of the semesters? Because I know we talked about the 180 days versus the required days, the 1,025. Of course, we wanted to have additional ones, but is it possible to, so it'll be 90 on each semester?
We have tried, Ms. Bird Robinson, and unfortunately, we were not able to make that work for either one of these draft 3, draft 4, or the last 2 drafts, which is draft 1 and draft 2 that I presented last in February. Because we have to have so many required days, option work days, and things of that nature.
were the, election days that accounted for voting in?
So we had to take that day so that we can have more instructional days for our students. So we were not able to make that November 5th an optional work day.
Okay, what about, and we have our professional development days built in, right?
Yes.
So what we're gonna do about, cause we told the election. people that-
Where, with the election from what I got, we were just a hardship if they needed someone. A site. I don't, you know, I got a couple of that need. So, I mean, I think as well, are we doing this, okay to do discussion now?
Okay, so if you want me to finish, so testing days, for draft 3, the students will test before winter break. But draft 4, they will not test until after we come back from winter break. Okay? And then the last day of school for draft 3 is May 23rd for students, May 30th for teachers. Draft 4 is June 6th for students and June 11th for teachers. So those are your biggest differences.
Mr. Williams,
Yes, ma'am,
I have a question.
go ahead.
I think that because we have already had this conversation with the county, though we weren't used as a site last year, it's a possibility we may be for the 24-25 school year. I think we need to go ahead and factor that in, because if not, then we would have to go back and try to put that, make that day a teacher work day and all of that. I think it's best, since they have communicated with us, asking us to be a site. I think we need to go ahead and be proactive and try to include that day in now.
And when they requested that, Ms. Bear, was that just speaking of last year, or were they asked for ongoing commitment?
I'm not sure if they asked for an ongoing commitment. I think that's something that if we don't know the answer to, that we definitely want to find out before we move forward.
Sorry.
I was in attendance at that meeting, and from all indication, unless I received it wrong, what they were saying, I took it that they were saying ongoing, but they didn't, say it specifically, like you were saying, what that it would be ongoing. They didn't make it definite. But from the talk that they were doing, they, like wanted us to, always be a site, in case, but they didn't confirm it to say. I took it that they were saying,
That's what I think it is.
yeah, but I think it's worth us, looking into it, as you were saying, just to make sure whether they, want us to definitely do it or not.
So,
Dr. Kaufman, you put,
so maybe we can take maybe the October 11th optional workday and switch it to a November. If that's okay with everyone,
October 11th.
because we have to, this has to be updated with the State Department by April 1st.
And if we table it, then it still can be by April 1st if we table it tonight.
So there's an optional workday for draft 3 and draft 4 on October 11th. So I'll see if we can move that optional workday to November 5th. And that means we will not have an optional workday in October.
Mm.
If that's what you all want the changes to.
okay, so, with the drafts that you have, the 2 drafts that you have, Dr. Kaufman, I really think draft 3 would be the one. That's just my opinion, because this way students will take the exams before they go home. And not only that, with the early college, they're gonna end their semester before they go home. So that we'll stay in the mix with them and the students that we have in the early college are taking the college courses. They'll run together. So I personally think we should go with draft 3. I don't know other board members.
So you just said, Mr. Williams, about the students at early college, because that's the part, I like that part, that the students are able to test before they get out for winter break, because they'll have the information, it'll be fresh in their minds. But at the same time, you were saying something about the early college, just a few moments ago.
The early college, those students would be taking the test, the ones that they're taking for their ACC. If we start school late, everyone, some of them test out, those students may at the community college will still be able to take their test, but we have, they'll be on a completely different schedule.
Mr. Williams.
For example, if they take the test at the community college, what are they gonna do the other days when our other students are in class? Stay home?
If our students take the test, what's the students that are there, or the students we're talking about here,
No, here and out there,
after they take their test,
correct?
what are they gonna do? Well, on both these schedules, are you saying based off of the community college schedule?
Not. Well,
Because the community college would be, both of these community college would be over with anyway.
right, but if we on a different schedule, then what are the students gonna do? While the other students are in class? I'm saying, the ones that have to be taking the classes, but have regular high school. And the ones at the community college, when they're back in the school and we're taking the tests and doing, what would those students be doing?
I still don't get what you're saying. But I
Well,
don't waste
okay.
time, I'm
Well,
not
basically-
being a bitch, and just
Well,
spinning wheels.
Either
but-
way, I think you take the test, their schedule is going to be better with, testing. I mean, even for the high school test, it's gonna be better that those students test before going home. And then you're gonna have what, almost 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a dead time before they actually test in courses.
No, they'll be back and they'll start testing at the draft. I agree with you now as far as testing before they go home off the break, but I'm saying, even if they do go home and come off the break, is she saying, according to this, they'll be testing, January 13th. So they'll be back a week in
It'll be a
school
week.
before they start testing.
Before they start, on the draft form.
Yeah, on draft 4.
That was
That's the
just
only
my,
thing.
that was just my opinion there. You do all the testing before you go home.
Right.
I
Mr.
like it.
Williams.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Barry Robinson.
I totally agree and support testing before the students go home. I totally support that. The only concern I have is for that November 5th date, that we were in agreement with for, being used as a site. But I totally support our students testing before they go home.
Okay, well, she said that she would change the optional date to, the 5th, November the 5th, so that the optional date will still be there for the 5th, and she just moving the other date. So that we will still be out on November the 5th, or if they want to use the site, we'll vote.
Is there any other way? Because I don't want our teachers to lose that day either, because it's after,
The grading period.
yeah, exactly. So I don't want them to lose that day. Because teachers, they'll just be starting back in school. We don't want to burn our teachers out.
And they need that for planning and, getting grades and stuff together. So I definitely would like for the teachers to be able to still get that date, in October.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. Is there any way that we can?
We can go back and,
Like add one somewhere else.
It has to be done by April 1st.
yeah,
Well, on the
we have
10th,
time, but,
Well, I mean, it still can be done by April 1st. If we have an upcoming meeting.
well, on the 10th, they have an early release day.
mhm.
That's probably professional
So
development.
it's like the grading period ends, early release, PD, and then they get their grades and all of that stuff. That's just how they run.
Crazy. If you've been in education you're not gonna wait till the last day to do grade level. Now, they're done a couple things at a time, unless you just have to make a test. You can go stay there and wait till the last day. Y'all been in teaching, y'all know that. There ain't no need to sit here and wait. It's just gonna be the day of. You already had those grades done. Unless you have a panic attack that can't make.
So would you all like for us to bring forth another draft?
One more.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So the last thing is summer learning, for 2023. Also presented the 2023-2024 summer program plan for board approval. This is for us to retest. This is for the summer EOG and EOC retesting to increase, another opportunity for students to demonstrate mastery on EOGs and EOCs. Parent will be notified May 1st, that their students have another opportunity after testing the first time to come back and retest in reading, math, and science. The instructional date, will be, May 29th through June 4th, 5 days of instruction prior to the students retesting June 5th, 6th, and 7th. And so we have, decided to participate in the retesting, and so we're just asking for board approval to retest our students.
I make a motion to, retest our students 2023-24 time frame. Second.
It's been much by Ms. Hale, second by Ms. Harrison, that the test, they submitted and approved. Are there any questions?
Yes.
Just say, Ms. Barry Roberts.
My question is, are we gonna be able to, in addition to the testing and things that we're gonna be doing, Dr. Carpenter, will there be, any opportunities for like summer enrichment?
Yes, so that's what I'm gonna talk about next after this is approved.
Okay,
This is just for retesting.
Any other questions? All right, all those in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, so thank you for that. So each school will also be offering summer learning from June 10th to June 3rd, Monday through Thursday. Elementary and middle school will be offering academic sessions from 7:30 to 12:15 and extended learning or enrichment sessions from 12:15 to 3 o'clock. The high school will also offer an academic session from 7:30 to 3 o'clock, and they're gonna be focusing on credit recovery. Summer pay rate for site coordinators will be $35 per hour, certified staff $30 per hour, teacher assistant, bus drivers and child nutrition staff will get paid $20 per hour. Our students will be offered a variety of opportunities, advanced learning camp for AIG students, summer accelerator camp for students that are participating in CTE pathways. We're gonna be offering field trips, other CTE experiences, Spanish and sports. And so that will consist of the extended portion of our summer learning program that will occur between 12:15 and 3 o'clock. Any questions?
yes, do we have a copy of that? Cause I don't see, I see what you have on the screen, but do we have a copy of that?
Yes, it should be on the
Okay.
slide.
The amounts are not there.
Oh, the amount, okay, I apologize for that.
Okay, Dr. Collins, you have to see, with the, calendar that was presented, are we told to see everyone run, another calendar or want to go with calendar 3?
You wanna take a poll?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Hale,
I would like to, have another draft done.
Ms.
Have,
Ms. Barry Robinson,
Yes, Mr. Williams.
we're asking, do you want to go with, calendar 3 or you want 4, additional calendar brought back at another time?
An additional calendar brought back at another time.
Ms. Harrison,
another draft.
Ms. Jenkins, ma'am,
Another time.
Brother Sykes,
I'm good with calendar 3. The draft 3.
And I'm good with draft 3, but it's 4 and 2, so
Okay,
another calendar.
all right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Dr.
Mr. Williams, Ms. Williams,
Yes,
Dr. Robinson, I just want to say that, and my reason is, I want to add in that day for the vote, the optional work day, and I didn't want that to be taken away, but also to add in the day for voting.
She was gonna do that.
The
I don't want to take away the
But they would
optional work
take away
day.
that option work day.
No, I thought Mr. Williams said, unless I miss you, I thought they were gonna move that and try to find another day, I thought she said.
That's what we're gonna do.
Or another day.
That's what I thought I heard you say.
That's what was said.
Oh, okay.
Just a minute, Ms. Humphrey, go. So, Dr. Copper.
Yes,
Excuse me, please. So you say this has to be
by
before,
April first, it has to be board approved.
so what day do we want to use as a board to meet and
Right.
come up before April the 1st? But really, it's before April the 29th, because
Right.
April the 29th is Good Friday, so we won't be here. So when do you want to get together between now and March the 28th, next Thursday?
Mr. Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
didn't Attorney Weber said that we probably gonna have to do something anyway, so can't we do it at that time?
But that was supposed to be in terms of the interim superintendent search, not a,
You could add other agenda
But we can
items.
add that to it.
So there can be both an open and a closed session on the same day with other items, if there are other items to take care of.
okay,
Okay.
so what day are we gonna go with?
Twenty-six. You got it, everybody, all right, next Tuesday.
And the day I have next week is Monday and Tuesday.
I'm good with any day.
Monday or Tuesday, I'm good, with Monday or Tuesday, too.
Let's just go with Monday,
Get it
the
done.
25th.
Ms. Jenkins, you good with Monday?
25th.
You good with Monday for the meeting? I know this not to, Dr. Copper. Attorney Welber. With the other things that we may be doing, that may be on Tuesday.
Tuesday would allow for additional time for other items that need to come back to the board next week. Monday's the only day that's available. Try and make that work. And whichever day you need 48 hours notice, but that could be posted on a weekend. So it's just 48 hours.
Okay, that's gonna allow the
Yeah,
other,
posted Friday or even Saturday. That's sufficient time.
So can we do Tuesday?
okay, we do it Tuesday, what about Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm good, I'm good.
Tuesday. Okay. Call me on Tuesday. Time
Mr. Williams, okay,
is on Tuesday,
5:30.
5:30.
that works for me. Anytime after 1 o'clock is good for me. So 5:30 is fine.
You said that okay with you?
That's fine.
Can you do it early?
Ms. Harris,
Can she do it early? I'm talking about Ms. Hayes.
I can't.
Oh, okay.
okay, Ms. Harrison,
Yes, 5:30 is good.
Ms. Barry Roberts, sorry, I don't know. Ms.
Perfect.
Barry Roberts,
Perfect.
5:30. Ms. Jenkins, 5:30. Reverend Hill, 5:30. I'm good. Reverend Sykes, 5:30. Sorry about that. I had to apologize to both of y'all. So, 5:30 Tuesday, special call meeting.
So question for Dr. Carpenter. Now that you have given us this plan, are we looking at community people that can apply and college students do we have an application for them? Because I know that's something that we normally do is we have students that come back home and are looking for summer employment.
Yes,
So
sent them the link.
the link that we've already have?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
You sent who the link?
That we utilized different people that we knew that worked last summer. And we, sent them the link based on the emails that we already had.
Okay.
All the outside vendors and college students and coaches that participated for the last 2 or 3 summers.
But you did internal first, right?
Uh-huh,
Because we
we
do
did.
have new people in the district that may be interested. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Dodd.
Thank you.
Mr. Hunter, operations.
Meeting board chair, Mr. Williams, vice chair, Ms. Hale, Dr. Simons, board members,
Good evening.
colleagues, community. We want to give you a few operation updates. So as far as maintenance and grounds department goes, we've just been continuing with our food deliveries to all the schools. Working on removing some equipment, outdated equipment, bringing it to the central office from various schools. Repairing found stuff from the health department that we're working on in the cafeteria areas, getting those up to date. And that's things like the walk-in coolers, as well as the steamers, making sure that we have those working properly. At the middle school, we've been going around looking and identifying areas that need some improvement. One area is the roof. So on March the 8th, we had a contractor come out and did a walkthrough so we can get some information to get ahead of making sure that everything's in order when we have the merger. So I'm looking for that report to come in anytime now. Once we get that report in, we'll bring that information to the board so that we can see what we need to do to, if we have any types of repairs or anything. So it's on the agenda, we have a section for new school updates. I'll come back and do that then. So, in the transportation department, on the 14th, we had a training session with Eddie Lord for the tablets. And as you can see on the screen, this is the Samsung Galaxy Tab Active 3 is the unit that will be installed on the buses for our time and attendance for the bus drivers. So I'm waiting now for this one last thing to do with Mr. Travis Miles. He's our program guy. He's gonna get in contact with me so we can update the driver information within the tablets, and then there'll be operations so we can start getting that data and information on the bus. Last month we reported the stop arm grant information. We're still waiting for those funds to be awarded for the units that we ordered. Yeah, in athletics. So with the facility repair and renovation grant here at the high school, the gym concession, we brought to the board I brought the contract to the board to have for the renovations of the concession stand. And within your packet, you have we had to go back and do a revision of what was needed to be done. So in your packet, you have a handout from, Bennett Construction Contractors. And with the news in that particular packet, it has it shows the new, items that once we went back and did let's say like a fine tooth comb, walk through, we saw that, some things that were left off the original scope of work. And, it's been added to the new, scope of work. Which also meant that there was an increase in the price. So that's what we're bringing to the board today, to get your approval for the increase in price. The original first bid was at, $30,000. And the new bid is at $50,700. But as you can see where I have all of the new, those things were the new things that needed to be added to in order for the concession stand to really look and perform the way we would like them to follow.
This out of the $100,000 grant.
Yes, sir. So that's one of the questions I'm asking for the board to give their approval to that, so we can get that ball up and going, right?
Okay, this time entertain a motion, for the new bid for the outlet facility. Got a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
All right, Mr. Jenkins, the motion, you got a second?
Second.
Mr. Barry Robinson, second. Okay. Ms. Jenkins, motion, and Ms. Barry Robinson, second.
Can I ask a clarifying question? Which of these, are these both, so there's two AV bids?
Wait a minute, which one you talking about?
Is this what's being discussed, the AV? The AV?
No, that was next.
Okay, got it. Just this
Just this one right here that says, in contact.
one, then from the other, got it. Sorry, thank you.
So, Mr. Hunter, I just want to get clarification on, it really it went up $20,000, little.
Right,
Less than
20,000.
20,000.
Right.
Well,
A little more, 20,700.
700, exactly. So, but that was basically because of, the first area was the ticket booth area, which was 18,000, right?
So, yes, in that particular area, it wasn't, in order for it to look right, when you come up to the gym in the, ticket booth area, it really needed more attention than what we originally had looked at. So that was the major increase for or the major reason for the increase was to really go in and really, reconstruct that booth area.
Okay. And that was a total of $18,000 right there.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Okay, and then the other ones are basically just painting and.
Right, the painting and
the
the,
VCT.
and the floor work. That really needed to be done in the small closet area.
Okay.
That's where the major increases came.
It's the second.
No,
Second.
Ms. Barry Robinson, second. This was a question. Are there any more questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carry, all those opposed? Motion carries.
All right, also in your packet, we have the next item that we need to discuss is the audio video system that we had brought one time before. That was with the first company that we brought to was Tequila Sunrise Music, which is a local company here in the area, they're from Gaston. And as you can see all of the equipment that they're looking to install. And that bid came in at $31,255.13. And then I was asked to go back because at that particular time, we only had, they were the only individuals that had submitted to it. So we was asked to go back and we did receive one other bid. And that came from, MCR, Integrated Technologies. They're from out of Cary, North Carolina. But as you can see, their bid came in at $93,063 for the project.
I make a motion to, approve to fill sunrise music.
Second.
Been a motion from Ms. Hill and second by Ms. Harrison that the Tequila Sunrise be approved as the audio sound system for the gymnasium. Are there any questions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Tequila Sunrise.
We'll be getting some contracts.
Just a minute.
Sunrise.
Just a minute, Mr. Hunt, Reverend Side.
Mr. Hunter, I'm just adding up real quick, 31 and 50,000. So we may as well say 80, 1,000, give or take a little bit. That, all of that's coming out of the grant that we were approved for, right?
Yes, sir.
So we still have roughly, 20,000 that we have to spend by June 30th, or we're gonna have to send it back.
Right.
Do y'all see anything else? or-
So, yes, sir, we're looking at, some other things right now,
Okay,
that we want to use to make sure we spend that money.
all right.
So we were hoping that we would get be able to progress and go forward with after tonight. So we're already into that thought process to make sure that we can, make sure we spend it.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Any other questions? I'll be back for the news.
Okay, next, we have exceptional children, Ms. Bonita Fields. She's not here, then,
So, Mr. Williams, I have a question.
go ahead,
You said Miss Fields is not there?
no, she isn't here.
Okay. Dr. Simonton, do you have information from that department? Because we were supposed to get something after the board meeting last month. And I don't remember receiving it. Do you have any information tonight? Like, do we know our current numbers and where we are with testing and where we are with the April 1 head count?
That is good. Maybe they have a head count.
Yeah, they have a head count.
100.
The only information I have for you is information about number of students per category. I don't have a head count update per se, but in the packet, there is information. That shows you the number of students by EC category. By category 5, autism, 8 developmental delay, 2 hearing impaired, 29 intellectual disability, 27 learning disability, 2 multiple disability, 12 OHI, and 15 speech.
Okay, so we don't know where we are with the April 1 head count.
I don't have that information.
Can you send us that information as well as the information from last month that we were supposed to get?
We will definitely get you the head count. If you will remind me the other items that you requested.
I'll follow up in the email.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next, do we have anything for public forum, Dr. Thomas?
Yes, sir. Mr. Williams, we have several who have signed up to speak. First, we have Ms.
Do we need a break? I know we need a break. Good, okay. All right, then.
First, I would speak as Ms. Regina Lewis.
Ms. Ruth, we have 3 minutes and Ms. Hill will be keeping the time. It should start the time and she can begin.
Good evening to all.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First, let me congratulate you on all of your accomplishments. All children are deserving of enough in any educational system to become productive citizens. I've learned that it's not just all they can get, but the new item is enough. Enough is not what one child has and another can get the same amount. I have been speaking before the Weldon City Schools Board of Education for 25+ years. I'm one of the voices for children who do not necessarily have an advocate behind closed doors. You were granted $20 million ESSER funds. Congratulations again. $10 million. I pray that you also receive some safe schools funds. I didn't come from wealth. I came from a strong community with farmers, churches who display strong ethics, values, faith. I continue to stand on the shoulders of Christians and community values where homes, if I may say, were not 100%, but the schools were not broken. When you, Weldon City Schools Board of Education, embrace and put children first, embrace diversity, community, parents, business, etc., then you can have a first-class educational system without millions of dollars. I am Regina B. Brooks. I am for the children. The governor has said that 2024 is a year of education. I say every year that Regina Brooks has been in education has been a year for the children. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks.
Next, we have Mr. Hugh Cradle.
Okay, Mr. Credit, you have 3 minutes and once you begin, Ms. Hill will begin with your time.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'm Hugh Cradle with Harold Weldon, and I want to thank Ms. Easter for recognizing the town of Weldon for the special recognition. Also, want to thank a young lady from North Carolina Central University that came on staff here. Always eager pride. All right, what I want to talk about is not me being American, but as a concerned citizen. And once was a board member myself. And when I came on, we got $300 a month. And it ended that way before I came on, and I stayed on the board for 20 years or so, and it was increased. And I understand that it's been increased a lot. So if it's been increased, let's just say it's increased $400. That's like $33,600 extra. And I remember going to the elementary school, the middle schools, and kids couldn't go because parents didn't have money to send their kids to field trips and things like that, which is a necessity. And I pay it out of my pocket so that those kids could go. They send the paperwork, no money. So I thought it was a good thing to do because I came on the board to serve the community and the kids. $33,000, $33,000+. That could take care of the kids. We got the art center in Littleton that we need to send our kids there on a regular basis so they can see plays, so they can understand what art is all about, which help them to materialize in other aspects of education. Integrity. We got some gentlemen that run for the board. And I know when I ran, But some of the board members kind of got little anxious and want to tell stories and lies and things like that, but it doesn't do anything for your school system when you do that. Let's keep it simple. When I used to receive calls that said, you know, you should know what these people are saying about you. I said, no, I don't. My work's supposed to speak for itself. I don't believe in doing that kind of stuff, backtracking and backsliding and giving people bad representation when they're not that way. So I ask that you keep integrity intact, because it's the only building your school system. We have lost 11 superintendents. 11. And you ask all of them the same question, what's the common denominator? And they'll say the same identical thing. Same few people that are trying to tell them how to do their job. The way I understood when I was on the board, the superintendent is contractually bound. You give him the contract or her, and they run the school, you're supposed to support them or you turn things down, but you don't tell them what to do. You're not supposed to advise them. So that's what I'm saying. Let the superintendent let these employees be employees. Stop trying to interfere with their life, their day-to-day activities, because you're not supposed to be in that position to do that. And if I'm wrong, attorney can tell me, but I don't think I'm wrong. And so the time is almost up. Probably is up. But please, look out for the children here at Wellness Schools, because I'm concerned, because there's a lot of talk and a lot of rhetoric going on about our kids and about our school system. This new school is supposed to help promote. And we lose 10 kids, 10% of kids every year to all the other schools. You need to think about that when you go out for making yourself look bad. My time is up. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fred.
Next we have is Emily Grant. I hear that's all, Chair.
Next, we have master board training. I had this on the agenda again for this month, because as you know, we were supposed to have training March 14th, but the only date that we could have board members to meet was on March 14th, which was set for the budget. So we had to move that date. So for the master board training, we have April the 11th, May the 9th. In June, we cannot have it because there's a conference going on. And then we have to move it to July the 11th. My question is, do we want to continue with the master board training? With it being stretched out that way?
Can you go over those dates again?
April the 11th, May 9th, and July the 11th. No meeting in June, but the second week is conference. So my question is, are we gonna go with the training? Do we want to cancel the training? If we cancel, there's no cost to us. Ms. Hill?
Chair, I would like to just cancel it altogether.
Is, you want to make that a motion?
I have a question before we go into a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
I totally support the training, but I do know that Attorney Weber had said that he was going to work on something with, was it Allison, or get some information, and bring that back to us. Do we have that information, Attorney Weber?
Yes, ma'am. So Allison Schaefer, she is the general counsel to the State Board of Education, NCDPI. So she does, she used to be at NCSBA. She's done that kind of training throughout her career. And I've talked with her to see if she still offers that to boards in her role as the State Board of Education general counsel. She said that she does, so she would be available. It would not be, of course, as extensive over multiple days. But she does give on occasion, board training related to, for example, board superintendent relations, the role of board members, that kind of general type of training, and it would be no cost. So that's something the
It
board
would be
wanted.
what, Attorney Weber? What did you say the cost was?
No cost, no cost. If that is something the board wanted to consider, she's open to it. And, either I could assist with scheduling, or certainly the chair could take over the scheduling duties. And again, she wanted to make sure to emphasize it's not as in-depth as the NCSBA Master Board Training, but it does touch on some of those key concepts that are provided through NCSBA.
So, I think, because of the working relationship that we have with Allison, I know that she'll be more than happy to support us. Because of the budget issues that we do have, with monies and, with us losing, of course, the ESSER funds. I would like for us to have the free training for board, if that's the pleasure of our board.
Side.
If we don't do the training with, what's her name? Miss Ashley, Dr. Ashley. I know the July date is a added date, but I didn't take the April and May dates off my calendar, because we said we were gonna look at coming back to that. Would the board be amenable to maybe looking at those dates, since we already had them reserved on our calendar, and, see if that would work with her?
The shape.
With the shape.
Okay. Sure, we can do that, I think. But,
That's what I'd like to see us do.
well, I mean, that's a good idea, but let's get this, motion about whether we're gonna continue with the master board training or cease. So I can, communicate with Dr. Pat Ashley.
I make a motion that we cease the, training with Dr. Ashley.
I made the motion.
You made a vote, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Ms.
Well, I
Hill,
Second.
Okay. Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Hill and second by Ms. Barry Robinson that the master board training be canceled. Are there any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
do I need to make a motion for, Mr. Weber to proceed with working with Ms. Schaefer on the training?
No, I think I have my direction. I'll reach out to her and
Okay.
coordinate.
Okay, thank you.
So are we looking at, I just want to make sure I don't need to take this off of my calendar. Are we still looking at the April 11th and the May 9th as tentative dates, I guess, to start with? If we need to do 2 sessions.
It's April
I
11th.
guess we need to, but see if she's available.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Right.
saying. Yeah,
Right.
What time?
because we already have that on our calendar.
From 4 to 8.
Oh, every second Thursday should be on our calendars anyway.
No, I'm saying we have it on our calendar
For the
for
master
the
board
master
training.
board training.
From 4 to 8. All right, and let's move on. Mr. Hunter, you can come on back up now. New school update.
Good evening again.
Good evening.
So with the new school updates on, March the 4th. I attended the county commission meeting, at the courthouse in Halifax. And this was to request the, DPI, needs-based public school capital fund grant application assistance with the county, as well as, ask the commissioners to, support it. With the 5% match that went along with that, what we was asking the state for, which was that 12 million. For that particular grant, and it was approved by the board. And it has been submitted to DBI. So now we're just waiting for the awarded, of the grant. On the sixth, we had our steering committee meeting, with, Ratio as well as, Clancy and Thieves, our, construction manager at risk. We met with, Dominion Power, Dominion Energy here at the high school. We discussed some utility strategies. Everything is moving forward right now, it seems like it's ramping up, at a rapid pace. So we had a nice little discussion with Dominion Power as far as getting the new, getting a new order in place for when they shut this power down and have a new line put in for the existing power to the existing gym, as well as the temporary power for the construction site. So, all of that is moving forward, everything is being put in place. Newberry came in, which is the engineers that we're working with, to make sure that everything was coordinated with, Dominion Energy. And as of right now, everything is in place and moving forward. With Mr. Hall, Bernard Hall, we created RFQs and we have one had went out for our commissioning agent, and we've gotten the results back from that. Working on those results, and then we have another one out for the materials testing and special inspections team. We'll get those tabulations for that probably next week, and then we'll present those results to the board for your approval for the team that we recommend for each one of those different tasks for the commissioning agent assignment, as well as the materials testing special inspections team. And then we'll have our next staff meeting, a virtual meeting on March the 27th. Those are the major things we've been doing with the problem ratio with Clancy and Thieves. Also on what we've been doing with the other part of the new school is the move. So we reported last week that we started our phase 2 preparation stage. And on the 12th of March, we held a joint staffing meeting with the middle schools, with the high school, to give them updates and inform them on information as how the move is going and what things are going to look like. So we also showed them a representation of how the school is going to be set up. As you see here, we have a layout draft of the middle school. So coming into the front of the school and pretty much everything to the right of the school is going to be the high school. And pretty much everything to the left of the school is going to be the middle school. And then we have the common areas in the center portion of, they're pretty much already set up like, as they are already. We have art, they have culinary arts. Those are pretty much right down the center line of where the high school is already running. So we know we're gonna get some storage units. I have those outlined so that you can see where they're approximately gonna be stationed. Once we get those delivered in, they'll be at the back of the gym on the backside of the building. We're also looking at the trailer unit that's outside. When I have that positioned at the move down to the middle school, so that we continue using that for storage and unit as well. So that's an approximation of where we're possibly going to be stationed at once we get it out. This is another view of top view of how this is going to possibly look once we get those items installed down in the next year. We will also have on the 27th, we also have a a school transition parent night where we'll be, explaining, have a Q&A session for the parents.
27th of
March.
March.
That will be at 5:30 at the middle school, so we'll be having pretty much the same sort of session that we had with the two staff. Giving the parents information or starting the communication with the parents so that they can, see what the merger is gonna look like and ask their questions as far as, those that do have questions. We already have a, set of questions that we've already been working on, predetermined questions we're gonna have already posted, just to, to help start, easing people's minds as far as what's about to happen.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at where those storage units are. And just from past experiences, what would be seen that area? Is it any way that we can move those storage containers or those storage units closer to the other end of the campus? I don't know, and you all looking at placement down there. I'm just asking.
So what you said, from what's been seen, what you mean by it?
The animals.
Oh, I got you. Well, one of the main reasons, as far as it being on the other end, is, we was being conscious of that, that big propane tank that's down there, so we really trying to stay clear of that without having a lot of, traffic or, going in and out of the area, or just being around that propane tank.
Well, I mean, even if it's not all the way back up there, I get that, but that's, just away if we can from. I don't know, y'all have been down there and look, I'm just saying, placement, I just want y'all to look at that. Even if it's, look closer back to the loop, or something to keep it from being so far down there. I don't know.
Some of it's terrain, that's a flat spot. And then there's some slippery.
Okay.
You go out further. And there's also proximity. So one of those doors is gonna be for athletics.
Okay.
And there's already, in a lot of athletic stuff, so that's gonna be in there. Now, I don't know if there's gonna be anything that attracts animals, so animals go anywhere.
Yeah.
So it would be locked, and there'll just be one door, there wouldn't be anything necessarily that attracts.
I'll tell you what I'm talking about later. Yeah. Yeah, they've been seen quite a bit, so,
Yeah.
yeah. Just, when y'all looking at it, if you can, yeah. Now, I'm not saying now, y'all just look at it.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Oh, well, that's, any questions? Any other questions? That's it. Pretty much what we have.
Any questions for Mr. Hunter?
No.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hunter, appreciate it. At this time, entertain a motion to go back into closed session.
Motion to go back into closed session.
Well,
Okay, before we,
Come back, and then we clear the approvals.
Don't you have the consent? Sorry, consent
go
agenda?
fast here. Is there anything I have to come out of closed session?
Yeah, we got the approvals in closed session.
So are you tabling consent agenda?
I think she was just saying when we come back
When we
out,
come back out from closed.
consent agenda and the rest of the thing.
I make a motion to approve consent agenda. Let's get it over.
I got a question.
Okay.
I was laughing doing that on the numbers with contract. I think, when you gonna share something with them? The Andrew Jackson contract.
You have a copy of the contract.
I don't.
Can I back it? You should. In your packet,
It might be
On the right side,
Back up somebody.
It's on mine too.
his might not been in there because he is up early.
Oh,
No, I don't
I
think.
think people.
Yeah.
but all these, changes up here. Wasn't, I ain't see it on mine.
You got it better now.
Okay.
So the copy that you have that's printed out is a draft copy.
Yeah, this is.
Okay, no, but, we got a motion on the floor, so.
You got a question?
Withdraw.
You say you had a question?
Yeah, but
I mean,
Put the motion out there, and some who second.
no one second.
Okay.
yeah, Miss Bird Robinson second.
Yeah.
I think she did, but I asked a question.
He said
I
he had a
thought we were
question.
just gonna talk about it when we came back, like you said, just talk about that and then do whatever else we gotta do.
But he said we need to do the consent agenda first.
No, he didn't say that, I just want to get it, so like, you know, it.
So the consent agenda is next, but if you want to table it, you just need a motion to table consent agenda until after close.
Let's go do it there, and see the table, that's better.
It's only motion, it's a motion on the floor. Oh, he had,
Okay,
it's your question,
you
Pam?
did the motion for the consent agenda.
I did,
And it was second by Mr.
and he said, he had a
He had a
question.
question.
Mhm, that's what started.
Okay, any more questions concerning the consent agenda? Okay, all in favor of approval of the consent agenda? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed, consent agenda is approved.
Make a motion going back into closed session.
Second,
The motion by Ms. Hill, and second by Ms. Barry Robinson, that we go back into closed session. Are there any questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
aye.